Jodi has mental problems. Jodi would freak out all the time. I've had quite a few of her friends call me and tell me that I needed to get her some help. We don't have a good relationship, me and Jodi. She would just totally flip out on me. And I had one of her friends call me in the middle of the night, call us one night and say, you need to get Jodi some help.
What do you mean?
That was a police interview with Jodi Arias' mother. It happened right after Travis Alexander was killed, right after his death. HLN was the first to show you the never-before-seen police interrogations with Jodi's parents. Want to talk with an expert on this. My friend, former prosecutor Holly Hughes, is here. Holly, what did you think when you first saw her mother being questioned by police about her daughter?
Okay, Susan, a couple of things jumped right out at me. Number one, why are you even talking to the police? You don't have to talk to them. This is your daughter's life. She's been accused of first-degree murder. Get some counsel, get some advice from a lawyer. Don't go in there and throw your own flesh and blood under the bus, okay? So that's number one. Number two, what I see immediately is Jodi's mom, Sandra, is trying to distance herself. She is doing what we see Jodi do so well. She's disassociating. Well, Jodi's always had mental problems. Jodi's always been a problem child. Well, then why didn't you get her some help? If your friends are calling your mother in the middle of the night, waking her up and saying,
Jodi needs help.
Right. Wouldn't your mother jump to and be like, all right, kid, we're going to get you some help, whether it's voluntary or not? Because later on, she goes on to say, oh, well, the reason that we moved Jodi back there was so we could help her. So now all of a sudden you're claiming, oh, yeah, we were going to do something. Well, it's a little late now.
And they never did, and we know how that ended up. They also spoke with her father. That's a little bizarre, too. Want to play a clip? We'll talk about it.
We told her we wanted to come visit her, and she goes, where are you going to stay? She didn't want to stay in her house because she was afraid we were going to snoop through her stuff. And I go, hey.
That is kind of strange.
That's just the way she's been. And then when she was in Palm Desert after that, man, that's when everything, I don't know what, it's been a couple of years then. I said she's been a little crazy for a year. It's been longer than that now that I think about it.
Saying she, her, never mentioning my daughter or even Jodi's name.
Right, exactly. Again, we see that distancing, we see that dissociating, like, I'm not responsible for this. You know, I see some folks trying to back up off of everything and blame it all on Jodi. Now, there is a point when an adult reaches a certain age where no matter what happened to you, it's on you. You know, you have to sort of grow up and accept responsibility. But there is a very odd dynamic when your own parents won't call you by name, won't refer to you in loving terms, won't say our daughter, my daughter. You know, at a few minutes later in this tape, Susan, he says she's always been a very strange person. This is your own kid you're talking about. So, you know, once again, he says, oh, now that I think about it, it's been going on a lot longer than that. She's been crazy for a while.
And speaking of strange behavior, she was being interrogated by the police. We all heard that. She also did a handstand, if you can remember, acting bizarre. Do you think she's bipolar, or you think she intentionally did that?
Well, I don't think the two were mutually exclusive. I think she's definitely got some mental illness of some sort. You know, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I do know in looking at this behavior that, yes, based on everything we're hearing, and again, it's interesting to note that, you know, a lot of people, when they get charged with a crime, Susan, all of a sudden they're crazy. All of a sudden they have a mental problem. That's not the case here. We hear her own parents, we hear her friends saying way back she's had mental problems. So we know something is wrong with her, but she absolutely was performing for that camera. She's a very intelligent girl. You listen to her writings, you listen to the way that she speaks in court and the words she uses. Very smart. She knew exactly what was going on. And so she was just setting it up for the future, like, well, look, clearly there's something wrong with me. I'm doing a headstand when I'm being interrogated about murder. That's not normal.
And again, the jury has not seen these tapes. They're not admissible, and it matters what the jury thinks at the very end. Holly Hughes, thanks so much.
Thank you.
HLN After Dark is following every angle of the Jodi Arias trial. Our studio jury weighs in on the testimony. You don't want to miss it. Sunday night, 9 Eastern, right here on HLN.